And now suddenly we are just here. And now we have to practice patience, isn't it? Trust me, it can be frustrating. Well, as much as we give positive thinking and motivation and all of that, it's a fact that as humans, we can get a little frustrated. We can get a little, restless. So at this point of time, what is needed for all of us is the practice of patience. We all need to be patient. And somebody said very beautifully, patience is not just the art of waiting. Patience is the art of waiting with the right attitude. Rukna to padega. We don't have a choice. Some more weeks to go. It's going to take a while before we get out of this whole situation, this whole crisis. But rukna to padega. When you use that word padega, that is frustrating. When you use that word, I have to do it, it's frustrating. When you use the word, I choose to do it, it's uplifting. Like for example, when you go to a doctor and the doctor says, well, you can't eat this. And when you say, what to do, I have to follow this diet, it's frustrating. But when you say, I choose to follow this diet, it is inspiring and uplifting. So when we have to wait, the question is whether you're going to take it as a have to or you're going to have to take it as a choose to. We will have to wait. But if you go through that attitude of kya kare, I have to, padega, frustration, depression, hopelessness, restlessness, and you say, okay, I choose to work on myself during whatever time I have to be indoors now. I choose to utilize this time in the best possible way. Oh, inspiring, uplifting, ladies and gentlemen. Like, some people may lose their hair. What can be done? Have to. Now, have to take care of have to have this look. Frustrating. Some people choose to shave their hair. Like myself. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. I choose to shave my head as a monk. So when you have to because it's gone, it's frustrating. But when you choose to, although you have hair, you choose to shave for certain reasons, well, you made the choice. It's uplifting and inspiring. Ladies and gentlemen, please take home this principle. Waiting you have to do, whether it's the corona pandemic, you have to, whether it's results in whatever you've done in terms of gaining success in your endeavors, you have to. They're in relationships, to make them go deeper and bond deeper, you have to. मतलब रुकना पड़ता है ना. जब रुकना पड़ता है, have to आता है ना attitude में. Frustration. I choose to wait because it'll reward me. I choose to work on myself because it'll reward me. Trust me, that choosing to is extremely uplifting. And how do we go through that attitude while we are waiting? मतलब खत्म ही नहीं हो रहा यार. Now this corona pandemic, it can go on longer. We don't know when it's going to end. We don't know when things settle, when the medicine, when the vaccine comes out. It's not in our hand. Uncertainty, right? In this particular situation, let us not go through this have to wait. Let us start looking at I choose to wait. And while I choose to wait, let me work on myself. Let me work on myself, self-development, self-care, self-love, relationships. Let me work on it myself. Right? And when we do that, it can be inspirational. And during this time though, when the waiting time is going on, जब रुकना पड़ता है ना, how do you take that time out? How do you keep that right attitude while waiting? Here's what I do. And I hope these words will help you in trying to be patient during this time. When I still take a lot of flights, and when I used to fly for my speaking engagements or my trying to do whatever I can do in service to others, when I would travel, sometimes when you travel it can be a little troublesome, Like you try to get the emergency exit seat and you get a little extra leg room, but the seat doesn't recline. So piche nahi ho sakta. So you get another seat which reclines, but then you don't get the leg room. And then you get the extra leg room And probably the seat is a little better than the toilets right around. कुछ तो ना जी गड़बड़ हमेशा चलता रहता है. And I being a teetotaler, sometimes you have a guy who's sitting right next to me and drinking so much, and I'm okay. I'm like actually fine with people drinking. So one day one guy was asking me, Swamiji, it's okay now if I drink alcohol? And I said, well, no problem. Any passenger sits next to me, it's fine. Whatever your choices are, I respect those choices. It's fine. So then I said to him in a conversation, I said, oh my God, it must be bitter, right? He said, in Hindi, he told me a sher. He said, तौहीन न कर शराब को कड़वी कहकर, तौहीन न कर शराब को कड़वी कहकर, जिंदगी के तजुर्बे शराब से भी कड़वे होते हैं. Do not, he said, do not criticize alcohol by saying it's bitter. Sometimes experiences in life are far way more bitter than alcohol. I said, oh wow, good wisdom and gyan here, you know. But you know, when I'm on long flights, like 17, 18-hour long flights to America, you have to wait. Once the takeoff is done, it's not like a railway train where you can get off at any station and then come back in again. Hawa mein kidhar utrenge? When you're on a train, you can get down on the station and do something. But when you're on a plane, where do you get down? You're just stuck till it lands. 17 hours to New York till it lands. जानते हैं मैं क्या करता हूँ? You know what I do? I have to be patient. Have to. I have to be there. But instead of going through the have to, I decide to choose to. I decide to choose to spend my 17 hours in a better way. I have my resting time for a certain number of hours, and the takeoff and landing time a little bit, and then you have your eating time. Then I do my chanting and my mantra meditation. That takes a little time. Watch a little something, read a book, and it goes. So I've cultivated the right attitude while I'm waiting. Rather than cribbing that I have to, I'm choosing to uplift myself. I'll tell you what, the best part on a long journey where you have to patiently wait, the best part is when you have somebody who's very close to you, like very close friend or a very close colleague or a very close relative with whom you really gel in so much, and then you start a conversation and you start talking a little bit, and you realize, hey, 6 hours have gone and we've been chatting. Time flies in a jiffy when you have people whom you love right with you to spend that time. Time flies in a jiffy. Patience becomes easy. The 16 and a half, 17 hours of the flight are gone like this. And when you're with someone whom we really don't want to be with, someone whom we don't really deeply connect with, then time comes to a standstill, guys. It's so difficult to keep going, isn't it? So difficult. So during this lockdown, no matter how many days it is going to be, we don't know and we don't have a choice. You know what to do? We need to start spending our time wisely. We can only wait in the right attitude for things to end and be genuinely patient if we cultivate that kind of a self-discipline, working on ourselves, and number 2, trying to connect to people whom we are really close to every single day. If they are physically around you at home or wherever you live, great. If they are not, connecting to them on a video call, a FaceTime call, on a Zoom call, or on a Skype call, or on a WhatsApp video call. At this point of time, I'm really trying to spend quality time with my friends, monks in the ashram, in the monastery. They're, spending hours and hours having meaningful conversations, reading, working out, spending time with friends, waiting with the right attitude. So please take this one principle, back home today. Waiting forcefully, have to, padta hai, and waiting willingly, choice, working on ourselves makes a hell of a lot of difference. So thank you all very much for exercising this patience for so long, and continue that patience in the positive way, with the right attitude, waiting by choice, and make your lockdown meaningful.